Well, Bullwinkle and his talented Bunyan are miles out at sea headed for some unknown destination. Bullwinkle has long since been rocked to sleep.
Yeah, with my very own rock.
And his two captors are standing close guard over his crated hoof. Well, what can be at the bottom of Bullwinkle's bunion?
My foot, maybe?
Meanwhile, in Washington, Rocky has just told his amazing story to the new head of the Weather Bureau, Captain Peter Wrongway Peachfuzz.
So you see, we gotta get Bullwinkle back.
But why should the Weather Bureau help you, Rocky?
Because Bullwinkle's bunion can tell you when it's gonna rain.
It can?
Yeah.
Then he's a valuable national asset. Get me the White House. Hello, hello?
But in punching the button on his desk, Captain Peachfuzz had inadvertently made connection with the Air Defense Commander.
Hello? What? What? Who is it? Right.
What is it, Major?
An emergency call from the White House.
An enemy attack?
No.
Big rescue operation?
No.
Then what?
We're supposed to intercept a flying squirrel.
Any luck, Captain?
I can't seem to get the operator. Never mind, we'll do it ourselves.
Ourselves?
Never fear, Rocky. Captain Peter Peachfuzz is in command. Forward!
And the Phyllis captain marched out of the room and straight into a broom closet.
Gee, it looks like it's gonna be a rough trip.
Well, that is the truth, all right, for as Rocky and Captain Peachfuzz take off in the captain's tiny plane, high above them, a half-dozen fighter planes are patrolling the sky.
What are the orders, Major?
Find the squirrel and force him to land.
And if he doesn't land?
It's an emergency. Shoot him down.
Bogey on the scope, bearing 00.
0, that means he's right under us.
Well, let's get down.
And the plane roared downward through the clouds, closer and closer to our friends. Then suddenly...
Pull up! Pull up!
Yes, the fighter command hadn't reckoned with the flying habits of Captain Peachfuzz.
That's the new courthouse building, Rocky, made of Carolina limestone.
Look out, Captain!
Oh. Hey, there's new buildings going up all the time.
Yes, the captain's plane was flying so low that the fighters couldn't get anywhere near him. Of course, his flight over the city didn't go unnoticed.
Hey,
What's the matter?
an airplane just flew by.
Don't be silly. This is a bus stop.
I tell you, an airplane just flew by.
He didn't stop, huh?
No, he didn't stop.
Well, don't get sore. Maybe he was full up.
But the city couldn't last forever, and soon the Peachfuzz plane had to emerge out into the open.
There he is, men. Peel off.
And the fighters started their supersonic attack on the clumsy, slow-moving plane. Faster and faster they went, and then...
Pull up! Pull up!
Sure enough, Peachfuzz had reversed his course and was heading right toward the attacking plane.
Turn around! Turn around!
Unfortunately for the Major, his planes were going so fast that they were halfway past Ohio before they could reverse directions. But by that time, Peter Peachfuzz's plane was out of sight.
How do you know what direction to go in, Captain?
Easy, Rocky. I just spin this wheel like this, and we head northwest.
That's a direction finder?
It found the direction, didn't it?
Meanwhile, in the mystery plane, somewhere up ahead, the pilot was following a scientifically planned course.
How come we keep changing direction, Ewan?
Look at this map, Norbert. Not even radar can follow us on this course.
No? Then who's that?
Sure enough, by sheer dumb idiot luck, Captain Peachfuzz's course had neatly intercepted the mystery plane.
Captain, look! That must be the plane! Bullwinkle!
Okay, Hadley, drag out the secret weapon.
And in a moment, a deadly-looking instrument was aimed backward out of the mystery plane and zeroed right on our hero. Don't miss our next episode, Squirrel in the Scope, or Ring Around the Rocky.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Cinderella. She was as pretty as a princess, but she wasn't a princess. She was only a commoner. The one thing Cinderella wanted in this world was to live in the big castle on the hill. But since she was only a commoner, she wasn't even allowed to attend any of the castle functions. When she heard of any of these affairs, she would run to her bedroom, throw herself on the bed, and cry. She wasn't invited to the prune-plucking pageant. She wasn't invited to the harvest hop. And she wasn't invited to the biggest function of all, the grand anniversary ball.
Hello, honey. I'm your fairy godmother. I hope you don't mind my rearranging the furniture.
My fairy godmother. Now I can go to the ball.
You said it, honey. Good fairy rentals make it possible for even commoners to go places in style. Just sign here.
Can I get into the castle?
Oh, look here, hon. The deluxe anniversary ball package. Only 100 gold grickles. Includes costume, transportation, and entrance to the castle.
Yeah, but can I marry the prince?
That's 10 grickles extra.
It's a deal.
And with that, the fairy showed Cinderella her finery. There were racks of dresses, hundreds of furs, boxes of jewels.
What about shoes?
I knew I forgot something.
Yes, the good fairy had brought only one pair of shoes with her.
This says 5B.
That's just my size.
But this one's a 13D.
13D?
Yes, it's roomy but comfortable.
That's pretty big.
It's wear this or go barefoot, hon.
I'll wear it.
So, that evening, resplendent in her new clothes, Cinderella approached the castle and entered.
Never mind, honey. You were unfashionably early anyway.
But you promised.
Good fairy rentals never fails. Just stand right here. And remember, this stuff is due back at midnight.
At last I'm going to get into the castle.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the castle wall, Prince Edgar the Mild was speaking with the Prime Minister.
I don't care, Bertie. I want to move.
It's impossible, Eddie.
But this old place is so drafty, and it's falling to bits. Look here.
Nevertheless, as long as you're a prince, you must reside in the palace.
Then I don't want to be a prince. I want to be something else.
Like what?
Well, how about an egg candler?
You haven't the training.
A yogurt tester? An owl trainer?
Face it, Eddie. All you've ever done is collect things. Stamps, butterflies, match covers.
Well, isn't there any call for match cover collectors out there?
No, Eddie. There's really only one way you can leave the castle.
And what's that?
You must marry a commoner.
A commoner? Never. That does it. Where can I find a commoner?
Hi. My name's Cinderella. You must be the prince. Hello, darling.
Is that a commoner?
You've got an eye for class because of the way you're looking.
Of course
at me.
not.
Daddy
Obviously,
always
a girl of
says
breeding.
in stocks and bonds that a girl's breeding is just as plain as day to princes.
Too
and things
bad.
Like that. And that's why Mumsy, well, she says that finishing school means an awful lot to a girl like me.
She's a pretty
Would you
thing.
like to dance?
Dances well, too.
We're dancing at Valhalla. That's our summer place. I just dance till all.
Oh, I
night.
do
Except
wish she
during
were a
polo
commoner.
season. Daddy's a
I'd marry her in a
man.
minute.
Just love to hit peasants with my polo mallet. Don't you?
Honey, be yourself. Be yourself.
And I'm so
Poor
sorry.
Cinderella.
You really wouldn't
She was missing her one
expect
opportunity to
me
marry the
as I
prince,
am.
simply by not being herself. A little moral there.
Just so true.
And the time quickly went by until midnight.
T.S. Eliot crowd any place.
Of course, Cinderella had to flee the palace, but before she did so, she left a small token for the prince to return to her.
I'll just leave this small token for the prince to return to me.
My dear girl, please, I just said that.
I don't want anybody to miss the plot.
Well, Cinderella sat around with one shoe on for days, but she just knew the prince would come, and sure enough, he did.
Is this your shoe, little lady?
Yes, it is.
It doesn't fit very well.
Well, it's roomy but comfortable.
You're sure it's yours?
Yes. Now you put it on.
Put it on? I came to take the other one off.
But, Your Highness,
Highness, I'm not a prince. I'm a collector.
Acme Collection Agency. Deadbeats a specialty.
Yes, and you failed to return these shoes to Good Fairy Rentals.
But aren't we going to get married?
Married? I'm already married to a commoner.
Commoner than what, dearie?
So the prince got to leave the castle after all, and he and the good fairy lived happily ever after. And Cinderella, well, she finally got to live inside the castle.
Right. Good fairy rentals makes it possible for any, commoner to live like a queen.
last time, Rocky and Peter Peachfuzz had caught up with a mystery plane bearing Bullwinkle and his weather forecasting bunion. But as they drew near, Bullwinkle's captors aimed a strange weapon back at them.
Okay, fire, Headley.
And from the oddly shaped muzzle came a huge cloud.
Hokey smoke, Captain!
Yes, it's a hokey smoke screen.
I can't see a thing!
Never fear, Rocky. I'll just zoom over the smoke.
But as usual, Captain Peachfuzz punched the wrong lever. Instantly, the engine stopped and the plane plummeted toward the ocean.
Turn it off, Hadley. They won't give us any more trouble.
And the plane with Bullwinkle aboard flew on to its unknown destination.
I could have sworn that lever set up.
Never mind that now, Captain. We better start swimming. You can swim, can't you?
I can't say, really. I've never tried.
Uh-oh.
But I will.
And the Phyllis captain plunged into the sea and straight down to the bottom. Fortunately, Rocky was able to haul him back to the wreckage of the plane.
Gee, you sank like a rock.
Yeah, it must be the heavy sandwiches I'm carrying.
Heavy sandwiches?
I picked up this package of sandwiches at the airport.
Hey, this isn't sandwiches. It's an inflatable life raft.
Oh, fudge. I always do the wrong thing.
Yeah, but this time you did the wrong thing the right way.
And Rocky fired the cartridge that inflated the portable boat.
Well, there it is, Captain. Isn't it a lovely sight?
I ordered pastrami on rye.
Well, let's start paddling. Stroke, stroke.
And the plucky squirrel paddled bravely for hours. Little did he realize that in the other end of the raft, Captain Peachfuzz was paddling just as bravely in the opposite direction.
Stroke, stroke.
Wait a minute, Captain. We're not getting anywhere.
With me, that's nothing novel.
Gee,
No, don't be discouraged, Rocky.
I'm not. I'm just worried about Bullwinkle. I sure hope nothing's happened to him.
Or to his bunion, either.
Not very likely, for at that moment, Bullwinkle's hoof, bunion and all, was reposing on a velvet cushion in the midst of a scene of barbaric splendor. Unfortunately, Bullwinkle couldn't see any of it. He was still unconscious. And then the mist slowly parted before his eyes.
Where am I?
I just knew he'd say that, Hadley.
Let's get out of here. He's coming too.
Boy, Rocky, what a dream I had. I dreamed it... must have done the room over while I was asleep.
Does it please you, Master?
Kind of wild wallpaper, Rocky, but... Hey, you're not Rocky.
I am Kit Mala, oh Master.
Kit Mala? Oh, of course. I'm still asleep.
You are awake, O Lord of the Universe.
Lord of the lady, you're in the wrong dream. I'm Bullwinkle Moose.
Praise be.
Glad to know you, Miss Praiseby.
And now I must tell my father, the king, that you have returned to the living.
Yeah, and boy, this is living. Best hotel I was ever in.
Is there anything you require, O great one?
Well, if I could just have a cool drink of... Man, that's what I call room service.
His Majesty King Bushwick the 33rd! The door was flung open, and into the room strode a strange-looking king, followed by a sinister headsman wearing a large axe. Well, it looks as if this story might be a short one after all.
Yeah, by about that much.
We'll find out what happens next time in Block Party or The Happy Headsman.
And now for all you intellectuals, the ones who hid their blocks in knowledge, here he is, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, blockheads. Today's dissipation is entitled How to Turn a Beastly Failure into a Monstrous Success. Suppose one day you are fooling around with your junior chemistry set and you advertently drop a little H2SO4 into your CIO. No, you got a monster on your hands. Mad scientists have had this trouble for years. Llewellyn, show the folks there's a little good in everything. To take one's place in society, a monster must be self-supporting, like suspenders, or getting a job. Well, goodbye, monster. Do a good day's work. 5 o'clock. Here he comes. How did the day go, monster? What's this, an example of your work? Why didn't you tell me you were working for a bomb company? Last and certainly most least, you must overcome the monster-like tendency not to share. That is why we are up in this plane. To make it realistic, we shall develop motor trouble. As you see, you are the only one with a parachute. Now, the civilized monster knows the meaning of share and share alike. So, share the parachute with me. And hurry. Well, I must say, he gave me the biggest half. And so, in conclusion, you can see the monster can be trained to take his place in the sun.
But what are you going to do with him, Mr. Know-It-All?
What do you mean, what am I going to do with him? Happy birthday, Rocky!
Peabody here. Sherman and I have a date with Florence.
Florence who, Mr. Peabody?
Florence, Italy, Sherman. Today, the Wayback Machine will take us back to the year 1506 to a small studio in Florence, where we'll visit that great genius of the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci. It was child's play for the Wayback to teleport us into the 16th century. Before we knew it, we were standing before the master painter as he applied the finishing touches to one of his creations.
All done. That's the best picture I'm a-drawing all week.
Another masterpiece, Leonardo?
You bet your boots. Here, take a look.
Do not disturb. Is this what you painted?
Sure. You like?
It's brilliant. But why are you painting signs?
Make a feste buck, that's why. How about a nice out to lunch sign? I'ma do it for you in the future.
Thank you, no.
I still don't get it, Mr. Da Vinci.
Hey, call me Lenny.
Well, what I don't understand, Lenny, is how come you're not painting masterpieces?
Da Vinci led us into a small alcove. On an easel stood an incomplete portrait.
Here's why I'm no painting masterpiece. Last week a fella come to me, asked me to paint a picture of his wife. She's named Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa? Yes, I've heard of it.
Well, the husband say, I'm gotta paint a Mona Lisa with a smile. Only Mona Lisa, she no got a smile. That's why I no finish the picture. Paint the signs instead.
I was about to ask why Mona Lisa wouldn't smile when the door opened and in came the subject herself.
That's a Mona Lisa. Hey, Mon, smile for the guys.
I studied that classic face. She tried her best to smile. But couldn't. It was then I noticed her swollen jaw. She has a toothache.
Well, no wonder she won't smile.
Toothache! And all the time I think she's got a jawbreaker in her mouth.
We insisted upon escorting the poor girl to the nearest dentist. Unfortunately, his methods of pulling teeth left much to be desired.
Now, this way is gonna work. I'm gonna shoot a bow and an arrow. The arrow, she's tied to string. String, she's tied to the tooth. When the arrow goes, the tooth goes.
Drawing the bow taut, the dentist aimed at a distant target, then let the arrow fly. And fly it did. So did Mona Lisa.
Aye, that's a pretty strong tooth you got there, Moni.
Undaunted, the determined dentist took us to a high cliff.
All right, Moni. This time we get the tooth out for sure. Now, you just take one little step forward.
But if she does that, she'll go right over.
All right. Now, Mona, please, whatever you do, land on your face.
But she'll get hurt.
Yeah, but the tooth, she's gonna come out. All right, now you watch me, Mona. Put your little left foot out first. Now you're right. And before you know it, you gonna go...
Well, there goes our last hope.
Not our last, Chairman. It simply means we'll take matters into our own hands.
You have something in mind, Mr. Peabody?
Yes. Lunch.
Lunch?
Lunch. We adjourned to a neighborhood pizza parlor and consumed 3 well-done pies.
That was delicious, Mr. Peabody. But what are we going to do about Mona Lisa's toothache?
I think we'll find it's better now, Sherman. Let's go back to Da Vinci's studio.
Hey, the picture's all done. What do you think?
I like it.
I do, too.
I wish I did. But that half a smile, she's a bother me.
Somehow I have a feeling, Mr. Da Vinci, that half smile will be the making of this portrait.
Hey, you crazy?
No, I mean it.
I don't understand, Mr. Peabody. How come she's only wearing half a smile?
Those pizzas we had for lunch, Sherman. You see, I reasoned that some consistent chewing would loosen her tooth sufficiently to cause it to fall out. Unfortunately, it was a front tooth that bothered her. Oh, well, half a smile is better than none.
Last time you remember, Bullwinkle woke to find himself in a magnificent apartment with his weather forecasting bunion perched on a velvet cushion.
Boy, this is the life.
But Bullwinkle wasn't so sure when the door opened and a strange-looking little king entered.
Greetings, O Font of Wisdom.
Where?
That's you, Jack.
Oh.
We have brought you from your own land to advise and counsel us.
How come that?
On account of your fortune-telling bunion is how come that, friend.
My bunion?
Praise be.
Hey, what's this all about?
Hand me that great scroll, Peruna.
And from the enormous document, King Bushwick read Bullwinkle a fantastic story. It all started some years ago when a U.S. Navy destroyer was passing a small tropic island. On the fantail of the ship stood a fearless figure alert and ready beside a row of sinister containers that looked like garbage cans. Of course, in reality, they were powerful death charges. Suddenly, the command came.
Fire one.
And Seaman Amos Bushwick fired now, wait, that's not a death charge. That's...
Yeah, it really is a garbage can. You never can tell, can you? Fire two.
Again and again, Seaman Bushwick swung the heavy cans, emptying them with true Navy skill and accuracy. All except the last one.
Man, overboard.
Of course, an intensive search was made of the area, but Amos failed to turn up, and so was listed as lost at sea. But in reality, he was very much alive.
Hey, here I am.
Too late, the Navy vessel sailed away, never to return.
Okay, just for that, I'll stay here.
And the castaway lost no time in making himself at home on the tiny island. First, he named it after his old hometown.
I hereby name you New Greenpernt.
Then he did everything he could to make the island a little Brooklyn in the South Pacific, including language lessons.
Okay, you guys, what's this?
Omaha.
Nah, this is a bird. Now say after me. Boyd.
Boyd.
Goyle.
Goyle.
Worm.
Worm.
Jerk.
Jerk.
All right, let's solve it. Okay, wise guy, what was that?
Joink.
All right, already.
So appreciative were the natives of all this that they made Amos king of New Greenpernt, and he took the name of King Bushwick of 33rd Avenue.
Bushwick 33rd for short.
And for his coronation, his loyal subjects presented him with the greatest gift at their command.
Observe, your majesty, genuine Oogle egg.
No, kid. Well, let's scramble it.
But strangely enough, when the eggshell was cracked, the only thing that emerged was a small slip of paper.
What is this, a gag?
No gag, King. This genuine fortune egg from genuine Oogle bird.
Oogle bird?
Yes, high on a mountain top above New Greenpernt sat that strange and legendary creature, the Oogle bird, so called because of its strange cry. The Oogle bird laid only one egg a month, but that one was a whopper. So large were Oogle eggs that they always fell out of the Oogle bird's nest and rolled down the mountainside where they were sought eagerly by the natives, for each one had a real, honest-to-goodness fortune inside it.
This is all very interesting, if a trifle long. But what's it got to do with me and my fortune-telling bunion?
Oh, that's simple. You are our new Oogle bird.
I gotta be a bird?
Well, it looks as if Bullwinkle has a tough job ahead of him.
Yeah, especially if I gotta grow feathers.
We'll find out next time in The Wizard Biz, or Bullwinkle Lays an Egg.